Topic 3, Lesson 5, Multiplying 2-digit by 2-digit numbers. Today you will multiply 2-digit numbers by 2-digit numbers. Okay, and I will use the words partial products, okay, a lot in this lesson. So make sure you have your book, your notebook, and your pencil ready to write. Okay, we are at the top of page 68. Let's go ahead and start right away. It says, how do you multiply by 2-digit numbers? Let's go ahead and read the story problem. Sammy's car wash had 38 full-service car washes in one day. How much money did Sammy's car wash make in one day from full-service car washes? All right, so the question is, how much money did Sammy's car wash make in one day? I think that's important to know. It's one day from full service car washes. Okay, so we know, information we know is that there are 38 full service car washes in one day. Okay, and over here on this picture you see all the prices for the different types of car washes. Okay, and you see the full service right here. It says $12. So if there are 38 in one day, each is $12. Then we know we need to multiply 38 times 12, which is what they show here in each step. All right, so this is the traditional algorithm. However, there are partial products in the traditional algorithm when you're multiplying 2-digit by 2-digit numbers. I drew this little picture over here to kind of break it down even further into more partial products. So I want you to see it differently. Okay, so the first step says multiply by the ones and then regroup. Okay, well, I'm going to break 38 and 12. I'm going to break it down even further. So we have 30 and 8. Oops, 38. Okay, and then 12. There's 2 ones and 1 10. All right, so then I'm multiplying each, well, just watch and see how I do this. 30 times 2 equals 60. Okay, then I can do 2 times 8, which is 16. Okay, so these are partial products. And I am going to be adding 60 and 16, which equals 76. Okay, so there's partial products within a partial product, if that makes sense. So now 30 times 1, I can just say 30. And then 8 times 1 is 8. Okay, so that's 76 plus 38. Okay, but wait a second. Does that make sense? Can it be 38? I see what my mistake is. I put 2 and 1. It should be 2 and 10. That makes more sense. Okay, so 30 times 10 is 300. There we go. And then 8 times 10 is 80. I'm going to say, whoa, that doesn't make sense. So that's 380. All right, so notice that's what they got over here, okay, for their partial products. So we broke it down into smaller partial products, and then we added those partial products to get get these two partial products. Okay, because in 2-digit by 2-digit there are more partial products. All right, and then you add those up and you can see here that they got 456, and that would be $456. You don't need to do this square method, but this was just I wanted to show you how it's broken down even further, how they actually get the partial products and why there's always a 0 in this second partial product. Okay, we call it a placeholder. You'll see when we do that the traditional way here in a minute, but now we know why it's actually 380. Okay, because we got 300 plus 80. All right, so let's move on to some examples. Go on to the next, or to the bottom. All right, so write down number 1 on your paper. I'm only going to do one example, but I wanted you to look down here on independent practice and notice how they've got boxes for you to fill in and they've got some numbers in there already. That's to kind of help you get started. So you know kind of what the partial products should be, and if you get something different that don't have those numbers, then you know you did something wrong. So that's in 7 through 12. So just note that to kind of help you if you're kind of struggling with this. All right, so let's go ahead and look at number 1. Go ahead and write that down. All right, so essentially what we're doing is we're multiplying each place value by each place value, if that makes sense, and you'll see what I mean as we go here. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the 1. So I'm just going to circle that, or you could put a little arrow, whatever works for you. Okay, and 2 times 6 is 12, so I know I've got 2 1s, and I have to regroup my 10s. Okay, issues here. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply my the 6 by the 10s. Okay, so I have 7 times 6, which is 42, plus 1, that's 43. Okay, I've got 4 hundreds and 3 tens. All right, this is where I need to put my 0 every time underneath the ones place. It's like the placeholder, but it's going to be in the thousands, so I know that's why I got to put my 0 there. All right, so now I can do this 1 times this 10, which is 2. Okay, and then I can do this 1, or excuse me, this 10 times this 10. Okay, it looks a little messy. And 7 times 1, it's really 70 times 10, but 7 times 1 is 7. Okay, now these are my partial products, and I'm going to add them to get my product. We've got 2, 5, and then 11. But I really should have regrouped my 1,000 there. So 1,152 is what you should have gotten for your first answer on number 1. All right, guys, so as you continue to solve these problems, one thing I forgot to mention is that estimate to check that your answer is reasonable. Okay, so you can just do that in your head, but let's go ahead and do that real quick. 72 is about 70, or it rounds to 70, and then 16 can round to 20. Okay, so 70 times 20, we know 7 times 2 is 14, and there's 2 zeros in the factor, so there should be 2 zeros in the product. So it's about 1,400, which is pretty close to 1,152. So I think my answer is reasonable. All right, go ahead and figure out from Mrs. Teese, what problems you're supposed to do. Good luck, guys. Do your best.